Okay, everybody, so this is my review of Nine Perfect Strangers, Episode 7, Wheels on the Bus. This is the penultimate episode of the season. We did not get screeners for this episode, so I am going to do this review off the cuff. I am recording this review as the episode has dropped on Hulu. So, what I really noticed too about this show is that what really hurts it is that because it's on Hulu, the problem with Hulu is that Hulu has a subscription that allows commercials. So they cut these shows on these weird cuts to put commercials in. So it feels like almost you're watching an edit that would be on a network show. Really frustrating. That's the advantage when shows are on HBO or on Netflix. They don't get interrupted. They're not cut that way. So again, this is a show that would really have benefited if they had just left the edit for non-commercials, but because of business, they have to have this version so they can get those commercials in for those people who subscribe with the commercials in it. Now, that's just a frustration I have, again, because with a show like this, it just really sucks. It sucks that that happens. And because it sucks, you feel it even in an episode that's supposed to have all this momentum. There's just these odd moments. It stops and then comes back. You never really get in a flow. And that's been a problem the whole season. So, with this episode, you know, it's like this is the best you're gonna get now with twists, right? Like if you're waiting for a show like this, sitting through a lot of the slowness of it, you want a big twist in the penultimate episode. Is it that Carmel being the person who shot Masha? Is that a great twist? I don't really know. I think it's a little predictable. It's not the most like jaw dropping thing. It came off a little cheesy when she put the contact in too. But you know what I'm gonna take away from this episode, from this season, just as a whole, is that Regina Hall is killing it as Carmel, and Regina Hall has just blown me away because I only knew her from scary movies and her comedy acting. I didn't know she had this in her to do this dramatic acting. I mean, if I was like this big casting director or Hollywood agent, like I would be calling the phone of her representation like now. Like get her in everything. She is so good. I mean, I have not seen a performance this good in so long. It's just because she just seems so in the role. Like it's not Regina Hall. It's crazy. And the range she's doing here is just spectacular. So, I mean, she rightfully so should start blowing up now as a dramatic actress and definitely has to be a front runner for an Emmy for this performance. It's so deserved. So, you know, this episode, it's interesting. It still, again, feels like a show where like not a lot's happening, but it looks like a lot's happening, but really not that much. And there's inconsistencies in this episode that frustrate me where we're used to the group to this point kind of being on the same dosage of drugs and them kind of making clear each episode who's on what and how much. But they kind of skimped on that with having Melissa McCarthy's character of Frances still being, you know, tripping out here. But a character like Lars seems like super sober, super sharp in the brain at the moment. So you're kind of like, did he skip dosage? Like, what's going on? It feels confusing. I wish they clarified what was the decision that morning with certain characters and how much they were taking. It was kind of all over the place and inconsistent. So it felt kind of odd that I knew Lars being in that pool scene last episode, tripping with everybody, and now he seems like he's clearly not taking any drugs. But I want to see that. I want to be that confirmed. Like, that's a big decision. Also, the character of Yao, at this point, just seems like he's just hesitant with everything, and he's just kind of there. His behavior was weird this episode that, you know, I wish we had some meat to his character when Delilah was making this big decision to leave and possibly go to the police. He was kind of just like, ugh. Like he's always just like, you know, arm shrug emoji for Yao this whole show. But give us a response to that. Maybe we can learn more about him and why he's doing what he's doing and letting Delilah leave, because that's such a significant thing for her to go to the police. So that was odd. There's moments I really like, though. I really like actually the scene with Frances and Masha on the cliff here, and they're talking about, you know, both having lost their parents at a young age, their fathers in particular. And Masha opens up about her daughter. Again, the problem with the show is they give the audience information before it's revealed to the characters. So when it's revealed, we don't feel that impact that maybe Frances was feeling hearing about Masha's daughter dying. We learned this last episode. So why not save that for that moment? Again, I think they just take away from moments supposed to be big by revealing them, you know, prior to that big line. So it's a very strange decision. What I do enjoy about this show, and it continues in this episode, is the camera work, the cinematography, and the way Jonathan Levine, edits and decides to cut certain shots that make you feel like you are tripping out. In particular, I really like what they were doing with Francis and Masha's conversation in the kitchen. You didn't really know what was really being said and what was being, hallucinated. And that same thing goes with her talking to Tony. I feel like they've totally flubbed the storyline with Jessica and Ben. Again, there's so many mouths to feed, so you're expecting someone's storyline to start faltering, especially because it's a limited series and there's only so many episodes. But Jessica and Ben, you're really feeling that. I mean, the whole point, it felt like, of Jessica's character was to say the wheels on the bus line, the title of the episode, and keep saying it and reaffirming it. It just felt kind of like, I wish we got more meat to them. So they've kind of fizzled out in this show. It really centered on the Marconis now, which is still interesting stuff. And I like, finally, that Masha's deciding to take these drugs with them. We want to see what happens with Masha here, because we now know she wants to get back also to who she lost, her daughter. So she's using the Marconis for that. That's been made more clear. It does set up a really exciting finale. I mean, how can it not, now that you have Carmel here and she's revealed herself to Masha while Masha's under the influence, as is the Marconi. So I keep saying that shit's going to hit the fan, but it really still kind of hasn't. It's just like tiptoes. So I don't know. I think it was okay, but at the end of the day, how far we've come with 7 episodes out of 8, this episode just made me feel, a little let down. I was expecting something more unique and exciting to happen here with all the characters. And it was just kind of a twist, the big twist of the show, that Carmel is the one who shot Masha. It's just like, okay, cool. It's not that shocking. It's not that game-changing. Really, it isn't. Because we already knew that she already kind of had a gripe with Masha, because we got the bigger twist that, Masha was sleeping with her ex-husband. So, yeah, it kind of fell flat to me, and I think this whole show, we can kind of look at now, as it's a little disappointing. With such a good cast, it's just not that great. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's gonna be forgettable. I don't think this is the show, after it airs, that it will live on and people talk about it and suggest to their friends. I think it's kind of just there, so this was the episode to kind of maybe take it to the next level, and it did not to me. The show did not hit its ceiling. So it's decent. But it's hard to rate this episode, because on its own, it's not bad. But what you're expecting now at this point, being the second to last episode, you want more. So, I'm going to give this one a 7.9. I think that's fair, because it had some good moments. It was more entertaining than many episodes, but it still had slow moments. And again, this jolted editing feels weird with the cuts for commercials. I think what I'm just enjoying the most at this point is watching for Regina Hall's performance. It's spectacular, and every scene she's in has been really interesting because of her performance and how good she's bringing 150%, so that's fun to watch. But I'm really not even that interested in this show anymore, but I will be watching the finale. I'll be reviewing it. Unfortunately, we're not getting screeners for that either, so I'm going to have to off the cuff it next Wednesday, so please join me in that. And yeah, I mean, please share this video if you can. Like, comment. I love to hear your thoughts. I read every comment. Try to respond as many as I can. If you really like what I do here, I can really appreciate the support. If you sign up to be a member, you get exclusive perks, and it will help me do this full time and do more reviews for you guys. I love the support, so I can do all the shows like Succession, Dexter, Wheel of Time, all of it. I want to cover as much as I can, but I'm still working a full-time job, and it's hard to do when you have so many things you're juggling, and doing interviews as well. So it's a lot, but I'm doing my best, and any support I can, get really would help. I'm ranting here, but follow me at Steve Varley Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well for more of you. That helps me so much as well. You have no idea. Pick an app, follow me, reach out to me. I'm here. I'm a friend. I'm here for you. Let's watch some TV and enjoy. And I'll see you guys next week.